But one thing we did say we wanted to do, and that was look at comments. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this comment button over here and look at the latest comments. We'll go down through them. We haven't seen them before, so we don't know what we're gonna get. Somebody might call us out, hurt our feelings. All right, look, we got our good friend Daniel Solomon here. He says, I see you flowing in the beginning. You need to put out a mixtape. So my question, the months and feast days are based on the moon. What is the deal with all the solar flares and intensity of the sun's activity? Let's see, does it have a read more? What's your take? Solar flares is what he's asking about. Now, I can't really show you solar flares without showing you the sun. And, of course, that will be breaking the second commandment, I believe it is. But I believe we know what he's talking about. And so, apparently, there's increased activity with the solar flares. And I can't say I haven't heard any of it. I have heard a little bit about these solar flares, from time to time. Would they have anything to do with the months and feasts? Yeah, sure, because he promised us all kinds of activity out there in the cosmos, and the sun is definitely part of that. And for it to be doing strange and weird stuff, is definitely will be part of the whole light show. Everything's involved in the light show. You know what I'm saying? The sun's been involved in other ways, like the Revelations 12 sign in the sky. And so, yeah, I believe, a lot of these solar events are a part of, the bigger event that's going on with all of, the constellations and stars and everything. The whole universe seems to be involved in this thing. All right, and as far as his mixtape up there, it's like, yeah, I go with a mixtape, but he gonna have to be with that right there with me. He must know something about flowing. Well, he can help out whenever you're ready, man. Whenever you're ready. Oh, here you go again, Daniel Solomon. This was 2 days ago. Like we said, we don't get to read too many comments. But it says, do you really think all these mass shootings are really happening and are not just staged? Yeah, many of them are staged. The ones that happen with so much camera angle and some of that kind of stuff, they are tricking us. As far as if we're sitting there watching television and listening to what they're talking about those big news groups, CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I don't want to lose nobody out. The conservatives and the I guess you call them liberals, I don't know, and the ones in between too, they're basically, all owned and ran by the same people who would do such a thing. So yeah, I would agree. Somebody replied down here, I think both. Don't get caught up, and then this is Heirloom Wild DYI. Oh, I believe I know who that is. I think that's one of my friends got 2 accounts. Yeah, some people have 2 accounts, but you don't really want to assume stuff until you ask. Let's read what her comment is. It says, I think both. Don't get caught up by the things and terrors that are going on. Warn people, wake them up, pray the Most High Yahuwah give you understanding. Read the word and let it sever you. Let it heal you and strengthen you. Use your talents for the Most High to reach those that you were assigned to wake up. It's all a distraction to keep us scared so that we only focus on the negative. Be the light. Allow your light to shine in this great darkness. Shalom. Yeah. That sounds like a wise old lady, a wise young lady there. I don't know which one she go by these days. But this is excellent points here. This is good stuff here. To not be caught up in it. But let's go back to his question before we blow it off. do you really think that all these mass shootings are really happening, or are they not just staged? Yeah, so what she's saying is don't pay attention to them. Don't look at them on TV. But which is what he's saying is that, they're not to be looked at anyway. As to Daniel's point is that, yeah, you really can't, keep up with what's going on. I tell you, when I watch the news and listen to this stuff, it's just so I can know what the other side is thinking. The same people watch the same shows, and the majority of people watch Fox News. So from time to time, I don't watch Fox News, but when I see it on, I will sit there and I will pay close attention, to what they're talking about, because sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, I like to see what everybody else is thinking, what people are thinking. Like the guy who said that he read the Bible and then read the newspaper so he can know what both sides are doing. Yeah, so I watch Fox News to see what the other side are doing. So, I believe a lot of it is fake. Talking to Mr. Daniel. All right, here go another one of our good friends. This is Joe Laverne Chucklochick. All right, Miss Joe says the pastor, doctor, deacon, Doug. Ha ha ha. I get a laugh every time you say it. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I reference him, and I appreciate her comments. I've referenced the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Doug, because I don't like calling out specific pastors. You don't know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, and some of these guys may look real bad right now, but they may just be going along with the flow. And when we start to hear of some of those earth-changing events, they're going to change too. And so you don't want to be slandering their name in this reality. And then when we go through this change, and we're all changed in a moment, like Thessalonians is talking about, you have to look back on the fact that you did talk about that guy. And so at some point, we stop talking. We're going to stop talking about him. And but the Reverend Pastor Deacon Dr. Doug, yeah, he gonna be the one we pick on him, because he's purely a fake, made up name there. He's completely made up. All right, so I think we have seen some of these comments. Let's see how far we're along before we stop on the comments. 10 minutes. We can go a little bit longer on the comments. We'll answer these as we go. Here's another one from Miss Joe Chucklow Chick. He says, I am one of those who you're talking about that still have religion, etc. And even though that may be partly true, it's only true for now, and that's why you are here and others, because you guys teach us, and I study, but I learn much more if I have someone to explain to, like you and your wife. And I can honestly say that I was 200% religious, and I am not anymore. But you know what? I didn't even know I was religious until recently. Laugh out loud. Love your classes, and you are the only one that I found teaching these books. All right? And so we got a response to that one. Let's see what we responded to that one. It says, classes are slow now that my internet is turned off, but I believe that it is intentional on our Father's part, because the moment the internet was turned off, a torrent of divine revelation started. I have learned more in the past 2 weeks about the timing of everything than I have in the last 2 years. It's like he took the internet away so that I could focus on learning instead of teaching. Still trying to get them classes out. And that's what we're doing here. That's why the classes are kind of changed a little bit different than they were. It's, because the circumstances are different. We got to learn to stick and move, roll with punches. She says, oh man, does that mean that you're not going to do videos? I need you to please keep the videos coming. I have a hard time reading and understanding. We'll try to keep the videos coming, but like we said, we're going to work on quantity more than quality. We're going to try to just put them up, as fast as we can. And so that's why a lot of these aren't going to get edited and such. All right, we can keep going with these comments. I think we're going to do some more comments in the future. Let's see about this one. Maybe we'll do one more. I think it refers to Heavenly Father as also that. Let me slow down. This is Daniel Solomon. 5 days ago, he's commenting on a video called "What Exactly is the Law of Moses?" Malachi chapter 4, last verses in the old, blah, blah, blah. He says, I think it refers to the Heavenly Father, and also that it means the role of the earthly fathers will be put back in proper place. Children will begin to be raised and their fathers again in the old days, as in the old days, and order will be set in Israel, in Israelite society. Children will begin to be raised with their fathers again, as in the old days, and order will be set in Israelite society. Yeah, I don't think I replied to this, and maybe this will be the main focus. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and stop it there. We appreciate Daniel for his comments, and Joe as well, the people that do a lot of comments. We appreciate you guys. But this one here, and what he's talking about is the last chapter of the Old Testament, Malachi chapter 4. Talks about how this Elijah figure is supposed to come back and reunite the fathers with the children, or the father with the child. And I'm arguing that he's talking about our Father in heaven, and Daniel has taken up on the challenge to try to kind of hash this out, whether or not he's talking about the Father in heaven, or whether or not he's talking about, our earthly fathers. Now, I hesitate to respond to comments that when I know my answer is going to offend them. Now, usually, I'll make a comment and I don't know it's going to offend them, and they end up getting offended anyway. But sometimes I know this is going to offend them, and so I don't say anything. And even though I come out and I say it in front of everybody to listen, and that's to believe our fathers. A lot of our fathers ain't gonna make it. I can't say for sure. Maybe they will. Maybe the Father has plans for them to all change in the end times, but it's going to have to take a significant change in our Father's life, changing from materialistic stuff, which I think incorporates that whole generation. Talking about them baby boomers, I think they got it bad as far as pursuing the golden calf there. So I think our fathers who are caught up in it is going to have just as hard a time. Like I said, maybe the Father got something planned for our individual daddies, but that generation is going to suffer because of the materialism, and it's going to require a significant change. And I'm not seeing any of that change yet. It ain't time to see that change yet. They ain't really supposed to change until something really bad happens. So maybe we will see. Maybe he's right. I would love to see my father make it over. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see all of my parents make it over, to the other side. But, I'm not really willing to, hold on so long that it actually puts my children in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were on a boat that was about to sink or whatever, and, that person expect me to keep holding that rope while, this boat sinks and sinks. At some point, the rope going to get let go is what I'm thinking. So, let's keep it going. I'll go ahead and answer this in a thing, but we're going to go ahead and cut this video short for now. All right, if you would, leave your comments. We'll go ahead and hit some more of these comments as we go. Love you guys. Shalom.